Let's explore and try to understand chant a little bit more. We're going to be working with Psalm 17 today. Give a listen to this quick recording I made on the first three stanzas.
Hear the right, O Lord, attend unto my cry. Give ear unto my prayer, that comes not from vain lips. Let my sentence come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. Thou hast proved mine heart, thou hast visited me in the night. Thou hast tried me and shalt find nothing. I am purpose that my mouth shall not transgress concerning the works of men. By the word of thy lips I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer.
Now, when you're looking at this music, I think there's three things over here that you really want to get a grip on so that as you're following along and practicing, trying to understand and correct mistakes, you know what's going on. So the first area is this idea of how do the notes and the words go together? Usually when we're reading our music in church, we've got a note to sing, and then there's a word right under it. Note to sing, word. And the alignment is great. It's beautiful. I mean, it's as great as someone who's got great posture and a spine that's never been healthier. But over here in our chant, the words are down here, which is already kind of unfortunate. You have to do some visual and ocular gymnastics. But also, it's not a note for a single syllable or word, right? Hear the. That hear the goes with this first note right here. We only have one note, but there's two words to sing. And then as you heard, we've got all of these words to sing. And again, that section goes with those notes, which makes sense if you know a little bit about chant already, because chant is like the in-between between speaking and full-on singing. It's using the voice in a musical way, one step above speaking, and maybe just a degree or two below singing, in that it's not as active and in the singing forms that we commonly use when we think about, oh, that's a song I like. So the notes and the words aren't a one-for-one on the page, and they're not aligned. That's tricky part number one. Boom. You got it. Knocked out. Now the other tricky part was something I was starting to illustrate a second ago. The relationship between the stanzas, the lines, and the sections. You good poetry majors among us know that this is a stanza. Stanza 1, stanza 2, stanza 3, and etc. So there's your stanza. Now every stanza has a line. Line 1, 2, 3, and 4. Every stanza can be sung, so here's stanza 1, in the space of all of this music. So this section of music goes with this stanza, and then when you get to this stanza, you start the music over again. And then when you get to the next stanza, you start the music over again, and so forth. Then notice that in the music, we've got this double bar line right here. It's an extra force to separate things out. So we've got first section, and then second section. There's my double bar line again. So it's in between the bar lines, so I know that that's a section. Section 1 and 2. And then we have a third section and a fourth section. Now, isn't that incredible? 4 sections of music. Guess how many lines per stanza? 4. Look at that circle job. So that means when you're reading this music, the best foothold you can give yourself is knowing that every line of the stanza goes with a section of the music in between the double bars. So then the final visual review on that is, let's say we're working on stanza 1. This first line goes with this part of the music. This second line goes with the second part. This third line goes with this third part. And finally, this fourth line goes with this fourth part. And you just copy and paste and repeat as you go down. You got that second thing all understood. Now the special features section is when we're chanting, the most unique thing about it is we're oftentimes saying a lot of different syllables on one note. A lot of different syllables on one note, right? So this is just the alto part repeated. So for this one note, we have to sing 2 syllables. Said that already. But then the other tricky thing is down here, in another sense, we have to sing a whole portion of words on that same note. So it's not always the same, the amount that we have to sing. The nice thing is just as our sections have these measures in them, right? Not the single, or just the single line right here. 1, 2, 3. So too, each line has those dividers so we can see how they line up. This first line goes with that first section. Here's that divider. And so we get really good at knowing how to apply this chunk to this part. We get really good at applying this chunk to this part and this chunk to this part. Typically, when we've got these bigger whole notes, ones that look darker, we're going to be saying more words. But when we have the smaller looking notes right here, we might only have to sing 2 words, and that happens pretty often, so it makes it easier to track along. In some cases, you might have to put more words on a single syllable, but that's where like this little dot comes into play and says, hey, split that up. Visited me, so put all of that visited on one of those half notes, and then put me on this other. You would see this particular case in play over here. Oh, sorry, one more back. Just redirect here. Visited, and then me. V for visited, and M for me. Or other times you might have a word like things. And notice that that goes with, just clear all this. Right, this happens in line 2. So I go and find section 2 of my music. Here it is. And it happens in the second measure, right? Measure 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then I go and find my second, and that's how I know how things line up. And say, oh, this things, just one word, I have to do things. Sing that one word across 2 notes. Hopefully that's helpful. Here's the recording again so you can try to peek between the words in the music. God bless you.
Hear the right, O Lord, attend unto my cry. Give ear unto my prayer that comes not from vain lips. Let my sentence come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. Thou hast proved mine heart. Thou hast visited me in the night. Thou hast tried me and shall find nothing. I am purpose that my mouth shall not transgress concerning the works of men. By the word of thy lips I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer.